Hi, I'm Iyare, and this is Fantastic Realm. We're back. Thanks so much for all your kind comments regarding the birth of my daughter last week. This week on the show, we've got all of our normal good stuff. We've got music and munchies. We've got a roundup of some of the books we missed from last week, and we've got a satisfyingly thick stack of new comics. Cue the music. If you're a regular viewer of this show, then you'll know that I'm really loving Deadpool at the moment. What's great about this great looking book, lots of great kind of funny comedic moments, lots of kind of silly kind of action, but in this one we get a kind of a Deadpool epiphany, if you will. I highly recommend it. This is Deadpool number 14. It's out this week. This is The Flash Rebirth number 4. Great book this, great looking as you might expect, with Ethan Van Sciver providing the art, and a very interesting script by Geoff Johns. What kind of pops for this book for me is all of the science of the Speed Force. You know, lots of kind of explanations about how Barry Allen's powers work and how the Speed Force works and all of this sort of stuff, and how all of the different Flashes link together. If you have any kind of desire to win a Flash themed geek argument in the near future, you'll probably have to have read this book. Great fun. The Flash Rebirth number 4, out this week. This is Blackest Night Titans, number 1 of a 3-part miniseries. Normally I don't have any interest in Titans at all. However, with it being a Blackest Night book, I thought I'd give it a quick spin, and I really kind of enjoyed this book. So well done from DC's point of view. You suckered me on this book. Whether I'll keep reading Titans as an ongoing thing beyond their kind of Blackest Night adventures will remain to be seen. I'm really enjoying Blackest Night. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but on the evidence of all the books that have come out so far, it's going to be great fun finding out. This is Titans Blackest Night number 1. It's out this week. The other bit of Blackest Night action you're going to need this week is this, Green Lantern number 45. As this is the sort of book that presents a little bit of a problem for someone like me who tries to review books on a regular basis, because you're always up against a deadline to try and get these things up on time. And the problem with a book like this is that Doug Mank's work is so incredibly detailed. It takes ages to go over each panel because you just keep looking at them and finding more and more just stuff of interest. It takes ages to just fully absorb all of these pages because they are so incredibly detailed. Geoff Johns is doing great work on the script as well, but really, if you get a chance, check out the art on this book. It is quite something to behold. You know the score with Blackest Night. If you're following it, you're going to need this book. Green Lantern number 45, out this week. We've got time this week, I think, for a few of the books I missed from last week. First up, this, The Amazing Spider-Man number 603. I'm really loving this. Spider-Man versus the Chameleon. I think that this is possibly one of the best versions of the Chameleon I've ever read. This is Spider-Man 603 and it's out last week. Another great book, first part of the Superman Blackest Night 3-parter. Great art. Lots of really cool kind of Blackest Night tie-in references. It means that you have to buy loads and loads of books to kind of keep up with it, but when they're this good, I'll just about let them off of it. Superman Blackest Night number 1, out from last week. Don't usually have time for X-Men other than the Uncanny X-Men, the main X-Men title. There's just too many X-Men titles to keep up with. But this one, X-Men Legacy, really kind of floated my boat, if you will, last week. It's just lots of Rogue action in this one, and I love Rogue. This is X-Men Legacy 227, out last week. If you've not been following this, this is Jason Aaron's run on Wolverine Weapon X. This is so cool. The whole idea of Wolverine as he tries to kind of close down the Weapon X program for good. There's so much to like about this book. Great writing, great art. If you haven't been following it, you really ought to. This is issue number 4. It was out last week. The last book from last week I want to give a little shout out to is this one, Batman 689. Really enjoyed this. I just love what's happening in the kind of Batworld at the moment. I really didn't think it could survive without Bruce, but they are telling great, compelling stories with real kind of interest for me. So if you haven't been following it, you really should take a look-see. This is Batman 689 and it came out last week. Matt Fraction and Luke Ross bring us Dark Avengers number 8. I can't really tell you too much about this book without ruining it for people who haven't read it. Suffice to say, there is a great heroic moment for Scott Summers in this book. If you haven't seen it already, please check it out. This is Dark Avengers number 8. It's out this week. Fantastic Four 570 hits the stands this week. This is the first of a new run for a new kind of creative team. I believe that the Fantastic Four is in very, very safe hands indeed. This is issue number 570. It's out this week. You should check it out. Loads and loads of Bat action this week. The first book I want to take a look at is this. Batman, the Widening Gyre. Now, earlier this year, Kevin Smith, film director, wrote a 3-part Bat series called Cacophony. This is a 6-part mini-series. I love this because it's like completely outside of the current kind of Bat action. This is like what at the moment we have to refer to as old school Bat action. If you liked Cacophony, you will love this. This is Batman, the Widening Gyre number 1 and it's out this week. Also out from the Bat universe this week is this, Batwoman in Detective Comics number 856. If you've not been following this, seriously, this has some of the best art around in comic books. It's also a really cool little story from Greg Rucka. There's lots of kind of just layers of interest to this. I cannot believe that I am that into Batwoman. They have sucked me into a character I really thought I had no interest in. Batwoman in Detective Comics. This is 856. You really got to pick this up if you haven't been watching it already. The final Bat branded book you may want to check out this week is this, Batman and Robin number 3. Awesome art, awesome story. Frank Whiteley, Grant Morrison. Not a lot more needs to be said. If you have any sort of interest in Batman, you would probably enjoy this book too. This is Batman and Robin number 3 and it's out this week.
Man, this girl is bad for me. Man, this girl is bad for me. She's the last girl I need. She's the last girl I need. I ain't gonna lie. Current girl has me happy. Last thing we had chemistry. So to see her now will be bad for me. So bad for me. Let it breathe. You can dance if you want to.
If you fancy some hardcore action from your comics this week, look no further than this, Herogasm number 4. Lots of kind of exposition in this episode, but even when he's kind of explaining himself and laying out details for the story and there's not a hell of a lot of action, Garth Ennis always manages to throw in a few kind of eye-watering, eye-popping moments. So if you fancy a little bit of hardcore action, grab yourself a copy of this, Herogasm number 4, out this week. Talk about going from the ridiculous to the sublime. This is Hulk 601. After the disappointment that was Hulk 600, this takes things up several notches indeed. Unbelievably good art by Ariel Olivetti. Hulk number 601 is a book that I would highly recommend. You've got to check it out. It's out this week. The very awesome Secret Warriors continues this week. This is issue number 7. There's just something humongously compelling about watching that old warrior Nick Fury set up his kind of forces to take on Norman Osborn. I'm really enjoying this. This is Secret Warriors number 7. If you haven't had a look, take a look. It's out this week. That's it for this week's Fantastic Realm. We'll be back next week with more of what you're looking for, so make sure you join us then. In the meantime, keep rating us, keep sending us your comments and your questions, and don't forget, if you're feeling the show, let somebody know. Catch you next week. You can buy any of the books we reviewed at fantasticrealm.co.uk, and don't forget to quote the code FAN1 to get yourself a 10% discount. You can also check us out at our eBay store and see more videos, or join our online communities at Facebook, MySpace and YouTube. We've now launched the Fantastic Realm video podcast on iTunes, so feel free to add a comment about this video below, and don't forget you can drop by the store to check out what we've got in stock.